My favorite time of year.
The best time of year.
Are you ready?
Already.
Let's do it.
Hi everyone, I'm Tricia Kelshall and this is my OMG interview. Well, there's always lots going on. I think 2016, really more like 2014, 2015, somewhere around there, I decided to get back into music. And was very nervous about it because of course I've been out of it for a while. I decided to have my precious daughter and I wanted to be a good mommy, so I stayed home for 10 years, didn't sing, but I did start writing songs and producing songs, but at home. And so just around 2014, 2015, I decided to get back into music, terrified that my fans would have abandoned me, only to discover that they all waited and they were all there. And so it's just been like an avalanche. And then 2016, of course, is a wonderful year where I put out my first Christmas album, another terrifying moment. Went in with not a single penny in my pocket to do it. I didn't want to ask mommy, daddy, husband, anybody. I wanted to do it on my own. So I took the leap of faith and ended up owing a lot of money, which I thought, okay, this would probably take me 2-3 years to pay off. And like I said, the fans were there, the support was there, and so we got a lot of performances coming in through the door because the song did really well, Call Me Baby, off of that album. So the song came off of that album and lots of performances that supported it, and I ended up paying for my album within the same month that it was produced. And so it's something I'm extremely proud of. We did great with the sales of the physical CD and then online, and then of course it played on the radio non-stop, which was exciting. To every single time Kevin and I got into the car to go to a gig, either Call Me Baby or one of the other songs off the album was on the radio, and it was just like who's singing that song, and it was never ever it's us. It was always a hugely exciting moment, and something we never took for granted. Deeply grateful. But then of course since then we decided that something was working, so we kept writing not just Christmas songs, but during the year after the success of that, we started writing regular stuff as well, which is some of the material will be on Kevin's album as well. And then we just moved on into other things, other Christmas songs, and we're still here, and we have 2 successful songs on the radio again this year. Mine is The Calendar, that I wrote together with Nigel Rojas. Kevin is featured on it with me. And then of course Just Can't Wait, Kevin's song, which he wrote the music and I did the lyrics and the lyrical melody. So we're still at it, we're still writing, and people still seem to want to hear what we have to say, so we're happy. We're happy to be here and to be part of Christmas, which I my favorite time of year. For those who don't know, I started very young in the music industry, very green, at age 17, turning 18, in a band called Second Image. Second Image was what we call a rainbow band, made up of all the different members of culture, different walks of life, and it was beautiful. It's how I always wanted to think of my country, Rainbow Country, and I think it is to a large extent, but that band was very successful. We got offered to do music for the soundtrack for a movie called Cool Runnings for Disney, which did not come off the ground for various reasons, but the success of the band was the point. And we toured and traveled the world with soca music, even to places like Sweden, where there was not a single Trinidad national in the audience, but we had them with their shirts off, hands in the air waving. And I think that more than any of the other carnivals that we did throughout the world, which was wonderful, seeing foreigners just gravitate and love our music, was I think one of the most validating experiences I've had as a Trinidadian. It was a beautiful experience. We tried. Lots of people did, but it was phenomenal for us. It was new, and our genre was new. It was called hip hop soca. So we did something that was different and unusual, and it really worked. And even for me, because I took a lot of flack when I started in this business, because I modeled before moving into the band. So I started on stage in 6-inch heels and mini skirts up to here, which, as you must well understand, does not work in soca. Well, it does these days. But in my day it did not, and I took a lot of flack in the papers saying, let's get real, and I got real, and I that's where we got into the cycle shorts and into the sneakers, and then I was dubbed the Soca Diva, and that was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, again, another validating experience of being a Trinidadian, being able to sing our music. I mean, we grew up in school learning how to write calypso, and it was a space where our music was for all of us. And if I wrote it or if somebody else wrote it, it was still accepted if it was a good song. Now, if you write a rubbish song, you're on your own. But if you write a good song, that's the whole point. So separate to that, that went on, and then I left the band, and then really was like a fish out of water just for a little bit, trying to find my way. I had left Trinidad, I'd left the band, and I had recently left my relationship as well. So I was trying to figure out what's next. So I did a lot of auditioning in England and stuff for different shows, and got through with some, didn't get through with others. But then I met someone who was instrumental in introducing me to a guy who was in a very, very famous band at the time. Of course, the name escapes me right now. The DJ that I was introduced to in London at the time had been part of a group called Massive Attack, which was a massive band, cult following type band. And they said, okay, if she can sing, bring it down to the studio. And they handed me a song and said, sing this. And I sang it down. And that first take was what was used. That song got me my first record contract. And for the single, and that song went straight to #1 in the dance charts in the UK Billboard magazine, and then it went into the top 40, which was very unusual for that kind of music. It was EDM. And then I was in spaces where I am about to go on stage to modern day Woodstock, which is called Glastonbury, which is, if you know about it, thousands and thousands and thousands of people at these massive festivals. And there I was singing my #1 song, but also I got to debut another song that I had written to the same crowd, and I was standing on stage just thinking, wow. But I know that I know I have to give an OMG moment, and I'm going to tell you my OMG moment. It has to do with that #1. It has to do with being in Miami airport, and I kept checking the charts because I realized it had gone onto the chart, but it was not anywhere there. It was like number 10 or something. I kept checking because it kept moving up and up and up. So I'm coming back to Trinidad, and I typed it in these little internet kiosks at the time, and there was my song, and UK Billboard #1, Tricia Kelshall, Mind Circus. And I wanted to jump up on the table and shout it for the whole airport to hear, and of course I couldn't contain it, so I started to Lace, excuse me, do you know I'm at #1 right now? And she said, that's nice there. And that was that. But that was one of those moments. It was surreal, but it was amazing, and that journey has it's just one of those things that never goes away, because to get there is extremely difficult, and to stay there is even harder. And right then, things happened in my life that made me pause. I had my beautiful daughter, and then the next time you guys saw me was 2016 with Call Me Baby. I think the biggest lesson I've learned, well, there are a couple. First of all, you do not know what is around the corner for you in any facet, musically, in your life, your career, your relationships. You do not know what's going to happen next. So you really need to enjoy where you are right now, and never, never, never be so arrogant that there's nothing left for you to learn. You could learn something by just talking to a kid or talking to an old person. You know, there's lessons everywhere you look, and I'm all for learning. I want to know. And the more I learn, I realize I know nothing. So I'm very humble about knowledge. Throw it at me. Well, the things that I want to mention is really about our country. It makes me it makes me tear up, you know. This country is a beautiful place, and our people are beautiful. We really are. And we just went through the whole experience of this Believe concert together, and we had our struggles. It was not without its issues and stuff, and yet still we all came through under the same umbrella, and we did a great job. And that is Trinidad. We are not without struggle, but person to person, if you just take 5 seconds to be good to the person standing next to you, I think that it would make a difference. It takes 1 second of your time to just be a kind and caring person, and I think I just wish we could just understand that none of us are bigger than the next guy. You know, if you get knocked down by a car in 1 second flat, you're just as fragile as I am, and that's the point. My OMG moment of my life was the birth of my daughter. That was everything to me, and even though, again, I've had big moments, like I said, with #1s, nothing can top the moment that little baby was placed on my chest. She changed my life.
And still is?
Absolutely. Every day, driving me nuts. She's a teenager, it's a whole different world.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's an OMG. When she was there, but I looked at her and I was like, I didn't even know what to say. It's like, hello. That was the beginning of our life together. Thank you for viewing my OMG interview. You can find me on Facebook, Tricia Lee Kelshall, or Tricia Lee Kelshall Bino, and then you can find me on Instagram, TL Kelshall1. That's me. Bye.